Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Gabrielle Ray and I present cases of unsolved homicides, missing persons, and the unidentified. Today I'll be doing another one of my Missing in America series and I will be going over the cases of Charles Hanlon, Mohn, and Clemente Cisneros Jr. Charles Hanlon has been missing since October 10, 1999, out of Bloomingdale, Ohio. He was born on December 1st, 1940. He is a white male who stands at 5'11" and weighs 178 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He has asthma and diabetes, and he had a mustache at the time of his disappearance, and he also wore glasses. He was 59 years old at the time of his disappearance. He left in a four-door extended cab 1999 Ford pickup truck with the Ohio license plate number BGA 4049. He was going to pick up a motorcycle in Florida, but it is not known where in Florida. And he was declared dead in 2008. Few details are available in this case, but his dentals and fingerprints are unavailable, but fortunately DNA is available. He would be 80 years old today. Unfortunately, that is all the information that is presented for Charles Hanlon. It would be nice to know where in Florida he was going to pick up his motorcycle, because if we would know that, then maybe some flyers could be put up in that area. If somebody had seen him, if he did make his way to Florida, if he did end up there. And where is his car? Is it still being looked for? Unfortunately, we don't know this information, but his case is very important, and though he would be 80 years old today, it's still very important for people to think long and hard and say, did I see this person? Where is my friend? Where is my family member? Because it is very, very, very important for them to have a voice and have their name out there in the public where people can provide tips and information to law enforcement. If you or anybody you know has any information on this case, please contact the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office at 740-283-8600, and his agency case number is 00-60041. Or you can contact the Ohio Attorney General's Office at 330-884-7532. And another thing about this case is that since his DNA is available, hopefully we can run it across a couple John Does. Or if a John Doe or some remains do appear in an area, we can compare them to his, and hopefully we can put an end to this case. Once again, Charles was born on December 1st, 1940. He is a white male who stands at 5'11" and weighs 178 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He has asthma and diabetes, has a mustache, and wore glasses. Moan has been missing since August 21st, 2000, out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Her date of birth is unknown, but she is a white female who stands at 5'1" and weighs 118 pounds. She has hazel eyes and red hair. And she has unspecified medical conditions that may render her unconscious. And her hair is dyed red at the time of her disappearance, but her hair is naturally blonde. She was last seen wearing blue jeans and a black and silver blouse, and she has a scar over her right eye. She was 41 years old at the time of her disappearance, and she lived on Mackinac Island in Michigan before moving to Wisconsin. Her hobbies were gambling and bingo, and she lived with a boyfriend who supported her financially. Her sister said that they had a troubled relationship and they had verbal and physical arguments, and they had one a few days before her disappearance at Lenny's Tap Bar. She was last seen leaving a corn roast at Lenny's Tap on North Broadway at 2 a.m., and the bar is on the city's west side. Lenny's Bar had its 25th annual corn roast that night, and she was seen walking in the direction of her home a few blocks away. She was very intoxicated and couldn't walk properly and kept stumbling and losing her balance, and she never arrived home. Days after her disappearance, her empty wallet was found in the 400 block of North Broadway near Lenny's Tap, and right near her was the Fox River. But authorities don't believe that she accidentally fell in the river because her remains would probably have been recovered. She had no job, no car, no driver's license, cash or credit cards on her at the time of her disappearance. Police interviewed people close to her. Her boyfriend and other people that she was associated with were talked to. Warrants were issued, and a property just outside of Green Bay was searched. She kept in close contact with her family, and the family says that she wouldn't have left without telling anybody. Her boyfriend is considered a person of interest in this case, but there is not enough evidence to charge him with anything. There was an apartment above the bar that some people lived at, and she was associated with them. And she was there for a corn roast one night, and after that, she disappeared and has not been heard from since, said Investigator Commander Jim Runge. Today, Dawn would be 62 years old. I always hate hearing in cases that, DNA, fingerprints, and dentals are unavailable in cases because it makes it harder to identify if she is a Jane Doe somewhere, and it makes it harder for her family to find out where she is and what she has done and what happened in these past 2 decades. And if her boyfriend is such a person of interest, it would be interesting to know why. Was she home? Did she really arrive home, or did she disappear before she got there? Because I assume that the boyfriend told investigators that she never arrived home, because how else would people know that? And unfortunately, that is all the information I could find on Dawn's case. And if you or anybody you know have any information on this case, please contact the Green Bay Police Department at 920-448-3200. And her agency case number is 00-52591. Once again, her date of birth is unknown, and she is a white female who stands at 5'1" and weighs 118 pounds. She has hazel eyes and red hair, and has unspecified medical conditions that may render her unconscious. Her hair was dyed red at the time of her disappearance, but is naturally blonde, and she was last seen wearing blue jeans and a black and silver blouse, and has a scar over her right eye. Clemente Cisneros Jr. has been missing since October 19, 2002, out of Okeechobee, Florida. He was born on June 29, 1982. He is a Hispanic male who stands at 5'8" and weighs 165 to 188 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. He has the following tattoos: a Virgin Mary on his chest, as well as the last name Cisneros on his back. He has an Aztec Indian on the left side of his chest and the word Mesa on his right arm, and he is nicknamed Junior. He was 20 years old at the time of his disappearance, and he went missing after spending the evening partying with friends at Los Dos Compadres. He may have left in a pickup truck and has never been heard from again. He was seen by family and friends around closing time outside the bar, and also seen at Angus Bar on South Route 70 West with 2 other men, says Detective M.D. Faulkner, the sheriff lead investigator on the case. It's not clear whether he was seen at Angus Bar before or after he was at Los Dos Compadres. He was apparently very intoxicated, says Detective Augustine Sacedo, and it has been said that he was killed. We received numerous tips over the years that his body was buried in an open terrain area in Okeechobee City, says Faulkner. We're looking for someone to give us a more exact location. I believe there is someone out there that can provide us with valuable info, says Faulkner. The police department said that there are some solid facts of this case, which include that there is no information that he is still alive. There is credible info that he has been received that indicate that foul play was involved and that he was murdered. He was a single man, and that he and his brother were involved in a confrontation with another man sometime before his disappearance. We're looking for that one piece of information that will put us in close proximity to where he was buried, says Faulkner. And Detective Saucedo translated his disappearance for the Spanish community. I believe this case can be solved, and that there is someone in Okeechobee County that has the information. I need to bring this cold case to a close, said Faulkner. And that is all the information I can find on Clemente Cisneros Jr. It's very scary hearing this information that, he may not be alive, and there's a good probability that he may not be alive. It just breaks my heart for the family that they have to hear this information that's so heartbreaking and devastating, but they can't find his body to put him at a proper rest. This family deserves peace, and so does Clemente, wherever he is and whatever happened to him. He deserves justice. And if you or anybody you know have any information on this case, please contact the Okeechobee Police Department at 863-763-5521. His agency case number is unfortunately not listed, but if you have any information, I'm sure you can just call the police department and say, hey, I have some information on this case, and they will take care of it for you. These cases may not have much information on them, but it is very pertinent that we get this information out there because their cases are just as important as the cases that are all over the television, all over the news media, and talked about all over social media. It's very important that, we get all the older cases out as well, because they may be found one day because somebody has the right information somewhere, and maybe as a dying declaration or somebody's conscience catches up to them, hopefully we can solve these cases and the families can finally have some peace and some closure. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful night.